How you doing? So what do I think about Gorr? I think he's like a well-balanced champion. He's not an OP champion, but he's like a well-balanced champion. That's the unfortunate part, that he's not an OP champion. I feel like he's like a aftermarket version, if that's the right word I'm trying to say, of No. Or just be straightforward, tell it how it is. I feel like he's a worse version of No. So bad thing about Gorr is he's not very damage mastery friendly, because he doesn't have willpower. So instead of willpower, if the willpower mastery is active, it is removed, and in each rank grants Gorr an indefinite vicious buff, increasing the potency of damage over time effects by 25%. So you could have 3 points in willpower. So that's pretty much going to increase your potency on the debuffs by up to 75%. So I really think they could have had this maybe in the signature ability, or just on on his base, and give him willpower. Not having willpower is very important in the game, because you cannot really run damage mastery that well with Gorr. Not only that, sometimes opponents inflict non-damaging debuffs on you that you're not going to be able to heal. So willpower is a very important mastery to have. It's probably, if not the most important mastery to have in the game, and he doesn't even have that. I think even having willpower in the game, I still think No is slightly better. What they could have done is they could have had, if let's say they were gonna give him willpower, I really think they could have give him like 100% bleed and poison resistant, so you can run damage mastery with Gorr, which is very important to have, to be running damage mastery. I mean, not only that, he's gonna be able to counter like cow drops, or like biohazard type of nodes, any type of bleed or poison node, because he will be like 100% resistant to that. Even, let's say if that's the case, I would say that he's pretty much uh, on par with No, but I think No is still a little better. If they give him both, if they give him like willpower and becomes 100% resistant to bleed and poison, yeah, then I would put him above No. I think he would be up there for the best champion in MCOC. I still think uh, with synergy, No is probably a little bit better, and you can even say Hercules too. That's a little bit better. Let me just give you a reason why. Let's start with. I think let's start with No. Okay. When it comes to No, not only has willpower, but he's 40% degeneration resistant and 60% bleed and poison resistant. So if you have like 3 points in coagulate, that's he basically becomes 90% bleed resistant, so you can be able to counter like biohazard or even cow drops. So that's a really good part about No. As I mentioned, he has also willpower, which is a very important mastery to have. And why I think No could be better, even let's say Gorr was had willpower and was 100% bleed resistant and poison resistant, is because of the new champion that came out. Let's see, can you guys guess who it is? Galen. Because Galen can make cosmic champions heralds. And what happens if they make heralds, you do need to win one fight, at least one fight, with Galactus, or Galen if you want to call him that. When it comes to his power ability, as you can see, when it comes to one for each victory maxed out at 5, Herald gains 7% resistance to all damaging debuff for each victory. So, if let's say if you were using No, you're gonna be like what? This if you win 5 wins, that's gonna be 35% resistance. So No is gonna be like 30 35 plus 35% resistant. So that's gonna make No with what? 75 resistant to degeneration. Probably even more important, 95% resistant to bleed and poison. So he's gonna be healing pretty much the entire fight, and against any bleed champion and bleed or poison node type of nodes when it comes to No. So with the Herald synergy, I think No is probably still better than Gorr, because as you can see with this, it comes to when it comes to Gorr and No, I think That makes no 95% resistant to bleed poison. Not to mention he's gonna be 75 resistance to degeneration. That's pretty insane thing to have. So I do think that no is still gonna be better if you include the Herald synergy. Even though if they, not we, I guess I can't really change the champion's abilities, but Gorr, I mean, I think he could get a buff, which would be really nice. But like I mentioned, if he's just a well balanced champion, if they made Gorr like 100% bleed and poison resistant, as well as give him willpower, he's definitely going to be better than No without synergy. I think he's definitely going to be the top in the cosmic class, but with the Herald synergy, I think No is going to be slightly better. So I do think he's a well balanced champion, but unfortunately he's not an OP champion, and he's just a worse version of No. What do you think about Gorr when it comes to Gorr? Thank you. I didn't really mention his abilities. It's pretty much the same thing as No. As I mentioned, he inflicts damaging over time, bleed, poison, and shock, which is really good in some fights when you need it, and it will increase his attack value. But it's really not easy to keep his buffs active unless you have the synergies for it. So yeah, I think like I mentioned, he's like a worse version of No. Hopefully, maybe that he can get a like a balance update or buff. I don't think he's obviously not gonna get nerfed, but hopefully he gets a buff in the future to make him a little bit better. Where No is exactly where No is in the cosmic class. Thank you.